Okay guys, in the last video you saw we finished up with Plankton and he gave us the videotape for this chapter. And then we went upstairs to the newsroom right before we talked to Gary. So, and then the next thing you need to, oh, and by the way, this is part 2B. And the next thing you need to do is talk to Gary. See, when the Mega Screen 2000 is blinking, that means it's available to use. And then after you finish talking to Gary, you need to look at the Mega Screen 2000's controls. Because when you look at the Mega Screen 2000's controls, it shows you where the weather is coming from. And after you look at that, and after it shows you the image of where the weather is located, a new place opens on the map. Because you saw the telescope turn gray and blue again after you looked at the Mega Screen 2000, after we looked at the Mega Screen 2000's controls, right? That means there's a new place open on the map. So the next thing you need to do is click the map, and then when you saw the telescope turn gray and blue, that was the last time you saw a new place open for the map in this chapter. So, like, you'll hear me snap again in just a second. See, because that was the warning to let you know that the colors were coming up for chapter 2. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is go to Marlin's cave. And then you need to follow this sign and then enter this magic hat. And then you need to walk to this slot machine and you need to wait till you get arrows on the slot machine, and remember the arrows. Remember the directions the arrows are going, because when you do this slot machine, the directions that the arrows are pointing, altogether they would lead you to where Marlin and Patrick are. So, like, I'll show you what I mean. See? Like, you see those three arrows, right? You need to memorize the directions the arrows are going. Like, for ours, it's left, up, and right. So now you need to exit the slot machine and then go through here so you're in a cave. And then, like I said, for ours, it's left, up, and right. So first I'm going to go left, like you see I'm doing. Then I'm going to go up. And then I'm going to go right. Because the three directions the arrows are pointing that are on the slot machine out front leads you to Marlin's cave, because you can see Marlin and Patrick right now. And then after you memorize the directions that lead you to Marlin's cave, where you could see Marlin and Patrick, the next thing you need to do is walk to Marlin. Walk up the stairs to Marlin. See, like I'm doing. And then you need to talk to Marlin. Because when you talk to Marlin, he gives you a magic wand that lets you into the control room to fix up the weather. So, like, I'll talk to him right now. Like, the last the last thing they talk about is giving you the magic wand that lets you into the control room in WSEA. See, here's the magic wand that lets you in the control room. So, after you finish talking to Marlin, you need to click the map again, and then go back to WSEA TV, and then you need to enter WSEA TV, and then you need to use the magic wand on the control room, like so.
Abracadabra, alakazoo, my name is SpongeBob, now open.
Yeah, and I couldn't seem to understand something else.
Wow, this must be the weather controlling thingamajig. Maybe if I just fiddle with the controls.
I couldn't seem to understand something else. So you notice how SpongeBob has JoJo's toolbox in his hand? When we click WSCA TV again to use the magic wand on the control room, you saw the toolbox in his hand, right? So the question for you guys is, why couldn't he carry the toolbox everywhere with him when he was doing the other places in this chapter after you did JoJo's toolbox with Tiffany, after she told you to go upstairs with Gary in the newsroom? Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, you notice when we were talking to Tiffany and she told us to go visit with Gary because he's upstairs in the newsroom, that after you get the toolbox to Tiffany, it holds in SpongeBob's hand. Like, as you can see, the toolbox is holding in his hand right now. And then, but only for some reason when they did this, when SpongeBob is at WSCA TV, SpongeBob only holds the toolbox only when he's there. Do you see where I'm getting now? If you do, that's great. Okay, so the last thing you need, but in the YouTube description below, can you seem to answer that question if you understand what I mean? If you can, that's great. Okay, so the last thing you need to do in this chapter is fiddle with these weather controls. And see, that'll finish chapter 2. And in the next video, we're going to be doing chapter 3.